This is Michaela McLean, and you're listening to Beauty by Design. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for being here again. It's time to talk about our next gate, gate 9. And it feels like with the holiday weekend that I'm like, already? Has it been 6 days? I guess it has. So here we are again. Before we get into it, of course, new chart system on my website. So go check that out, michaelamclean.com. It's all prettied up in my colors, and these are extended charts. They are free, completely free to get as many as you want, for all the people that you know. But it's cool because they have extra chart properties. They list out the gates. It's got Chiron and other substructure things happening within the chart. And so you want that because I am, again, working on classes for in the new year, and they will involve deeper things happening in your chart. So get familiar. Well, with that, anyway, moving on, of course, grab that. The same link is going to take you to the free guide for my human design basics, and that will lead you to the correct 1 hour, $11 human design or type masterclass, where you're going to learn type, strategy, authority, not self signature, deconditioning tips, like everything you need to know. And then from there, Yoga Nidra, energetic beauty sleep for your type and authority. There's only going to be one, unless you are a practitioner, which I suggest getting the bundle, and you can play that, bring human design into your treatment room in a very, very simple way. Otherwise, you just get the one that applies to you and listen to that every chance you get. Naps, rest time, bedtime, sauna, whatever, getting a facial, giving a facial, what have you. And that's really going to help get all of this human design information to bypass the conscious mind, where we're not supposed to be acting from anyway, and get into your cells and really infiltrate, with the human design content that's really going to make a difference in your life, strategy and authority. Like, oh, just anyway, such good stuff. And of course, you get the beauty benefits of Yoga Nidra. Anyway, all the links for that, show notes, and over in my Instagram bio at Michaela McLean. If you're not following me there already, I do share extra things every single week on how to utilize the gate and its energies in a very self-care, beauty, tangible kind of way. So go check it out over there. All right, let's get on to the episode. So, of course, our reminder, our disclaimer, don't try to understand this at the mental level. Just let the sound current, the energy, the frequency of beauty sink deep into your cells like good skincare. Okay, so today the sun moves through Sagittarius into human design, gate 9, located in the sacral center, and it's part of the collective understanding or logic circuitry. This is the more yang, cool headed, planning, future focused side of the chart. It likes repeatable patterns you can experiment with to prove. It really is the logical left brain. Refinement and alignment exist on this side of the chart, on the collective side, versus the creative, experiential flow of the collective abstract sensing side. So with collective logic, it really is about like a better, brighter future, right? And it's impersonal collective logic. The keynote here is sharing. So starting with the center itself, the sacral is the major motor center of the body graph, responsible for generating sustainable life force energy that powers up the entire world. And gate 9 is known as the taming power of the small, the gate of energy for detail. It's concentrated energy to establish a pattern. So gate 9 is known as the gate of focus. The low expression of gate 9 is the inability to remain still long enough to focus on what is at hand. Remember, this is a freedom-loving Sagittarius gate, scattered energy, doing all the things, can't concentrate on what's important. It's kind of like can't see the forest for the trees being the detail, the forest being logic circuitry, the big picture. It's also inertia, just spinning your wheels and getting nowhere. Procrastination, even productive procrastination, maybe that more so. And the fixation on seemingly small and unimportant details. You could also think of like analysis paralysis here. The high expression is being able to zero in on the important details, channeling your chi or your life force into something incredibly powerful and worthwhile. It's the determination to funnel your intention into what you are focused on because, as we know, where your attention goes, energy flows. The Gene Keys calls this the power of the infinitesimal. Again, this is a generated gate, making teeny tiny steps every day toward the goal. Instead of doing the most, you are focusing your energy, conserving it for only the thing or things where it will be specifically the most impactful. Basically, it's like, how can I move the needle forward, even just the tiniest bit today and every day, right? Because this is a generated energy. Okay, so in the Gene Keys, the shadow of this one is inertia, the gift is determination, and the city is invincibility. And so the Gene Keys states the taming power of the small refers to the human tendency to become submerged in unnecessary and irrelevant details. Most human beings live lives where they simply get by, lives in which they become victims of all the details around them. At the higher frequencies, you tame the small by applying your energy only to that which serves your higher purpose. At the shadow frequency, however, the details tame you, sapping your life force, robbing you of your enthusiasm, and eventually pulling you into the common human state of inertia and indifference. And he goes on to say, focusing on what lies right in front of you rather than concerning yourself with where the future might or might not take you. The ninth shadow is where you place that focus, and primarily through your daily activity rather than your mind. There is something magical about this ninth gene key, as we shall see. It holds one of the greatest of all secrets, how to stop your mind from undermining your natural destiny. An image representing both the ninth shadow and the ninth gift is a pathway made of individual stepping stones. At the frequency of the ninth shadow, the stepping stones go in a circle, so that as you look down at each step, you fail to realize that you are simply following the same old footprints and your energy is going nowhere. This is the state of consciousness of the majority of human beings on our planet. At the gift level, however, the stepping stones go off into the distance and over the horizon. You do not know where they are going, but it doesn't matter. You know they are leading you forward. This makes every step you take all important, as well as an adventure. This ninth key is about finding the right activity in your daily life. Every step must lead you in the direction of your dream, whatever that may be. Included within this path are the many, many small acts we take on the mundane plane: eating, washing, shopping, cooking, etc. Because of all the steps, even the mundane daily chores lead you in the direction of your dream. It is impossible for them to be unfulfilling. If your activity leaves you cold or bored, it does not necessarily mean it is the wrong activity. It probably means you have lost contact with your greater dream. You have allowed the small to tame you. Every time you allow life to leave you bored or indifferent, or if you feel this lack of energy and inertia, it is up to you and you alone to reconnect with your dream. Without a sense of higher purpose, human beings move in circles, creating energy fields that prevent abundance. We are here to make magic happen. We cannot do that unless our every waking moment is directed and focused toward a single overreaching vision or ideal. The ninth shadow sucks all the hope and enthusiasm out of you when you do not see immediate results and improvement in your situation. It takes you away from the focus and fulfillment of the moment and disturbs your concentration and patience. One of the modern expressions of this ninth shadow is our addiction to trivia, details and trappings extraneous and unnecessary to our lives. Unless it is either beautiful or practical, it can safely be classified as trivia. The strange thing about the gift of determination is that the more determined you become, the less energy and willpower you have to use. This is contrary to the common view of determination, which is generally held to be a great battle or struggle. However, the secret of determination is about momentum. All those little acts done with heart begin to build up an inner momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. The force of the entire universe begins to gather behind such a person. It is only at the beginning that you have to use great force because those first few steps out of the shadow frequency take such enormous strength of will and courage. Thus, the ninth gift reveals one of the great secrets of the gift frequency. The more you tread the path of the heart, the easier it gets. Instead of being tamed by life, you forge your own direction and destiny through taming the smallest and most inconsequential acts in your life. And in this one, he has the quote: the controversial English magician Aleister Crowley once stated a deep truth of great relevance to this gift. Every intentional act is a magical act. Even the smallest action has a spin off effect that travels out into the universe. Okay, so my notes here, this is part of a generated channel. It operates in response to the correct thing, to the correct work it's being presented with, the correct thing that's showing up on its path, right? Doesn't have to go looking for it, letting life come to. So this is one of those places in the chart that also, you get a little bit of extra, I don't know, insight. This is by no means a diagnosis, but there is often a correlation between gate 9 and ADD or ADHD. So, again, not diagnosing, this is not medical advice, but it's just an interesting thing to note if you have that. Gate 9 by itself, when it doesn't connect and make a full channel with the gate 52. So it's quite interesting. My mental projector nephew had only the channel of logic here. So, the head and the ajna are defined and that's it. Every other center below that is white. He has gate 9 as a dormant gate. So it means 9 is colored in, but it's in coming off of an undefined center. Of course, projector, they're never going to have the sacral colored in. So this is where his conscious Mercury sits. So the black Mercury. So this is about the way that he thinks and communicates. And so he actually has this diagnosis, the ADHD, and he really does have a heck of a time concentrating, focuses on or notices the small things, but this inability to concentrate. Now, I say that when there are distractions, for instance, in like the classroom and things, so when work can be done alone or headphones can be worn or things like that, like less distractions, able to focus. So gate 9, right? But when those things are not in place, harder time. So again, if you have gate 9 or somebody you love, care about has gate 9, it's like, pay attention to that, right? Eliminating as many distractions as you possibly can is going to be helpful, or help them to eliminate distractions, in whatever way that shows up, right? Because like I said, it has a really difficult time because of noticing the details, but it can't necessarily sit still, or it can, like, can't be still enough for long enough to channel their energy toward whatever thing they're meant to be doing at that time. Or, depending on their design, as again, like a non-sacral being may not have the sustainable energy to do much about it, right? Put the energy behind where they need to be focusing on top of just not being able to focus. So a few things going on there, Um, sacral gates, they're always going to indicate what our energy is available for. So somebody with this gate is genetically programmed to have an eye for detail, someone who loves to focus on the small stuff that many of us don't have the desire for. And again, I want to go back and remind everyone that this is coming from the yang side of the chart, that collective logic that's focused on the future, taking action once it's thoroughly analyzed information and has turned it into those repeatable patterns. Okay, the things that you're like, yeah, we can prove this. Science can prove it, math can prove it. So let's go ahead and act on this. The programming partner here. So Sun is in Sagittarius, gate 9. The Earth is automatically opposite in Gemini, gate 16. And 16 is known as enthusiasm. It's the gate of skills. So the keynote here is I experiment, identify or not to skillfully master something. And this one is about pinpointing your special set of skills and then devoting yourself to your craft until you become a master. This one can definitely be full of doubt and self-critical, fear of inadequacy. I'm not ready yet. I haven't developed this enough. I'm not perfect at this. And, it can also be triggered when you don't have the support you need to hone those skills to perfection. But the high expression, of course, is giving yourself over to the thing that excites you, that you have true enthusiasm for, that you find yourself identifying with. This is very much, again, from that same circuitry. So, pattern recognition, repetitive showing up, practice makes perfect, turning natural talent and skill into an art form. I always say this is consistent refinement and alignment, rinse and repeat until things are perfect. It's a very versatile gate. Yeah, I don't know. Like this is I'm like, this is my unconscious moon. And I love this gate. I so identify with this gate. It's, to me, it's being a dancer. And there's some books that refer to it as that. It's like having to show up and do the thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, like so that it can appear effortless someday and be art versus like something you're struggling with. And this one I laugh because, like I said, it's I'm for one, I'm obsessive anyway. Due to that, like that's a marker of obsession. So it's like I've always had like a thing, and I'm like, I'm going to just throw myself into it. When I was a kid, it was ballet, then it was skin, and obviously it's this stuff. Um, I'm always like a 16 person isn't going to want to be good at like all the things. They're going to want to be a master of something or, a specific set of skills. So anyway, just yeah, very much about what you're channeling your time, energy, and attention into. Okay. So the gate that completes the channel is Cancer Gate 52, forming the channel of concentration. And 52 is known as keeping still. It's the mountain. It's the gate of stillness, the gate of inaction, temporary and self imposed inaction for the benefit of assessment. And the keynote with this one is the pressure to focus your energy to concentrate. And this one's all about the right timing. It's the root pulse. This is coming from the root center. Stillness, focus, self discipline, contemplation, perspective. It's the mountain. That is a fixed and immovable object. So here we have, that the famous quote, you must concentrate. Your focus needs more focus. This is the meditation gate. This is the Buddha gate. This one in its low expression can be antsy because it doesn't know what to focus and concentrate on. This can also cause a little bit of depression here because you've got all this power, but you have no idea what to use it for. Basically, the shadow here, it's stress, the energy originating from the root, which is a pressure center in human design, provides the pressure to get moving. But you're like, "Well, move on what?" It's kind of like what's going on here. So it can feel stuck and stagnant, just can't get moving, and then they give up, or it's restless and it's busy and burnt out on all the wrong things and doesn't know what to focus on, or it's just kind of lazy and lying around on the couch. This one, sometimes I've heard it referred to as like the couch potato gate. The high expression here, though, the way to relieve the pressure is to realize that your response informs your focus. So, responding to what you deeply connect with and are willing to put the energy into to perfect over time. Basically, hang out, be still until the right thing crosses your path, and you're going to know it. Until then, gather up or call back, call back all of your life force energy, fortify, still yourself, and wait to act. Don't be distracted with pointless stuff. Get centered, get focused. Wait for the opportunity to present itself, and you'll know it's correct. Then the mastery can come over time. So I think of this as like fixing your gaze, which in yoga is called your drishti. So it's like, all right, I'm finding that point, or let's go back to my dancer analogy. When you're spotting, when you're turning, you pick a place that you are looking, and as you turn, you look at that spot as long as you possibly can, and then you whip your head around and you're back to the spot. And that's how you keep your balance and stay focused. Oh, hey, there we go, right? I'm gonna work a ballet analogy into everything. Anyway, this one, of course, and this whole channel, it can be prone to a little bit of depression, even if it's just restless because it feels that there's nothing, that the authority is giving them the green light to focus on. And it is extremely magical to concentrate and channel your energy where you want it to go because then amazing things happen. And again, it's like a reminder, slow and steady, incremental process. This is collective logic that is perfected by putting one foot in front of the other. So Here we've got 52, the adrenalized pressure, the fuel of the root coming up to connect to the sacral, to gate 9. So we've got that connecting to pure power and consistency with that sacral center. 9 gives you this specific ability to focus your attention, gives you the thing to focus on, and 52 gives you the ability to sit with it consistently without being distracted. So when the two come together to form the channel of concentration, it's about focusing, holding the pose, filling yourself up with concentrated life force energy and waiting to respond. The pattern you'll devote yourself to and perfect over time. Remember, the full channel on its own is a pure generator meant for mastery over time. Strategy and authority is everything with this channel. These are not scattered people doing all the things. They typically do not appreciate having too much on their plate all at once. Just kind of like saying no to too many tasks, too many projects, whatever. That's jack of all trades energy. And that is so not the vibe of this channel. This is about mastering something or things to improve the collective. You can't do that when you're here, there, and everywhere. This is about determination. They are determined to master and perfect. That doesn't happen overnight, and it definitely doesn't happen without devotion and consistent repetition. It's the classic Rome wasn't built in a day, or you gotta grow roots before you get the fruits. This this whole energy definitely benefits from some routine and structure, like a container for this energy. Whatever that means to you, like how you structure your days or spend your time, but, think on that if you have it. Like I said, a little bit of depression again if it doesn't have something specific to focus its energy on. But again, it's like about waiting and responding. And really, really, if you are a generator or a manifesting generator with this full channel, they're the only two that can have it. Um, it really is about paying attention to your response, like what's crossing your path and getting you excited that you're like, I could devote myself to that. I could really put my energy behind that. That's powerful, even if it doesn't make sense to you. It's not supposed to make for generators, like, it's not supposed to make logical sense. It's like your body's just like, "Yes, I like that. Let's do it." Okay? So, with this full channel, again, elimination of distractions. Social media is a great example. If you find yourself, you're like, "Well, I should be working on the stuff that I actually love, but I find myself distracted." Turn on the do not disturb on your phone or, quiet the notifications or whatever, close the tabs, whatever you have to do to allow yourself to focus. I think this is probably even more about the gate 9 than anything, but full channel as well. Find things that you can stick with for the long haul. Again, if sacral beings, Robert who's the founder of human design, was like, they're the great quitters, the generators and therefore the manifesting generators, because we enter into things incorrectly. The mind's like, "Well, I should do that." And the body was like, no, hard pass. I don't want to do that." But you make yourself do it anyway. And then you get into it and you realize, oh, I don't want to commit my life to this thing. And then you quit. So by being still, being patient, sitting in meditation, just chilling out, focusing your energy, sucking it all back up, like I said, fortifying yourself and waiting for the correct thing to cross your path to respond to, you're not going to enter into the wrong things. It's really amazing, So I just think with this one, it's like the time and experience is what matters. It's like the thing that's gonna make you a master craftsman, at whatever it is that you are destined to do. And what's really cool about this full channel, the channel of concentration, is just simply being around someone with this energy, the full channel, can help people around them focus. So basically, if you have the channel of concentration, you could just like open up shop and just be, people will focus because they are around you on whatever they're meant to do. So it's kind of a cool superpower. This channel is format energy. So the complete channel is one of the 3 format channels, which flavor the rest of all the channels in that circuitry. So they're like seed energy. And the collective logic understanding format is about sitting still, studying, perfecting things until you have some time to respond to what moves you forward. And for instance, the collective abstract is really about jumping into things through response and then experiencing it and reflecting on the past once you're through it. The individual, knowing the one in the middle, the mutation that pulses on and off, is just about responding in the present moment. So they each serve a different purpose. And all format channels are purely generated, meaning the sacral is turned on, there's no emotions involved here. And it's like, well, why does that matter? Because what do we know about pure generators? I myself being one. Well, they're meant to be masters of their craft, They're slow and steady wins the race. They are the tortoise, not the hare. The ability to keep showing up if they love the thing that they are doing. They have this incredible ability to go the distance and not quit. So again, if you have this full channel, you would have to be either a generator or manifesting generator, depending on what else is going on in your chart. No other type can have the full channel. So this would be an interesting channel to make note of if you're a manifesting generator, because the generic rhetoric, manifesting generators move so fast. That can actually be greatly affected by the presence of this channel, right? Because it can really slow you down in a very wonderful way, helping you draw your focus and attention to the things where it really matters, where you're actually meant to be putting your energy. And I do know somebody who is a sacral manifesting generator with this channel, and I have really noticed over time, like, yep, absolutely. They're like all integration circuitry and then this channel. And you're like, wow, it's very focused, very calculated. Yes, a lot of things are happening, but they move at a pace that is not crazy and hectic. It's methodical, like I'm building something. Anyway, astrologically, this is Sagittarius with Cancer, which makes a quincunx aspect. And the easiest way to describe that is awkward, right? Sagittarius, for instance, wants to act, and Cancer wants to be still in this pairing. And this is happening in the fourth quarter of the wheel, purpose fulfilled through transformation. So you're transforming yourself through not wasting your precious energy, but by funneling it into what actually matters, the thing that's really going to move the needle forward. I don't know. How can you move the needle forward today, knowing this information? All right, that's it. Of course, remember to go follow me on Instagram at Michaela McLean, where I post more about how to utilize this energy, like I said, in a self care and beauty sort of way. Um, oh, and do you have this chart? Looking at the sacral on the bottom right side, 9 will be pointing down to the root. If it's colored in black, red, or red and black, you have the gate. And if it's white, like mine, you don't have it. Look over to the other side at 52. Is that colored in? If you have that, you're going to be getting the full channel for approximately 6 days. You're going to get some, you might be a 52 person who finally figures out what they're meant to focus on. That's kind of cool. I have no part of this whole channel at all. So we'll just see how it shows up. So again, great example. It's like, hey, I observe this in other people, and this is important. So we see what we might get from them. Maybe, and how we're influenced. Okay. I will be back soon with more. If this episode was of value to you, I would, of course, love it if you would leave it a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, because this is me showing up with all my knowledge and put a lot of love and effort into this, and it'd be a beautiful way to support me back. I would really, really be grateful for that. If you would like to learn more human design, of course, go grab your free chart, because you can just follow along with the podcast. Free chart, free human design guide, $11 classes, yoga nidras for each type and authority, and of course, way more stuff coming that I am feverishly working on, funneling my energy into for you. And that's about it for now. All right. Of course, until next time, have a beautiful day.